Picture this. It's a quiet Tuesday afternoon. Your 3-year-old is struggling with a wooden puzzle. They try jamming the piece in upside down, getting visibly frustrated. But they don't give up. Finally, it drops perfectly into place. You are bursting with pride. You clap your hands, smile, and enthusiastically say, "Good job, buddy, you did it." It feels like a beautiful, supportive parenting moment. But watch exactly what happens in the microseconds after those words leave your mouth. They don't look down at the puzzle with quiet satisfaction. They immediately snap their head up, looking directly at you, scanning your face, waiting for the verdict. In that exact moment, they aren't feeling their own pride. They are feeling your evaluation. By saying "good job," you think you are building their internal confidence. But neuroscience tells a completely different story. You are actually wiring their developing brain to become addicted to external approval. By the end of this video, you will understand how these two incredibly innocent words silently destroy a child's internal motivation. And you will learn the exact framework to use instead. But before we tear down the way we speak, I need you to take a deep breath. If you say "good job" 50 times a day, for eating broccoli, for putting on shoes, for drawing a messy circle, you have not failed. You are not a bad parent. In fact, you are doing this because you love them fiercely. Our generation was heavily conditioned by a specific cultural message. Constant praise builds self-esteem. We want to be our child's biggest cheerleader. We want them to feel seen and validated. But here's the heartbreaking truth that the parenting books of the 90s got completely wrong. Genuine self-esteem cannot be handed to a child on a silver platter of praise. You are doing your absolute best. But no one ever explained how a toddler's fragile reward system actually processes your praise. Let's decode this. What is physically happening inside your child's brain the exact second they hear you say, "good job"? When you evaluate their action with enthusiastic, generic praise, their brain's reward center, specifically the nucleus accumbens, lights up. It releases a quick, potent hit of dopamine. Dopamine is the brain's feel-good neurotransmitter. It feels amazing in the moment, but there is a massive, hidden design flaw in this system. Dopamine is highly addictive. When you constantly say "good job" for every tiny, expected action, you accidentally hijack their internal reward system. You create a dependency. Think about when your child is coloring. Initially, they draw because the physical sensation of the crayon on the paper feels good. They are driven by intrinsic motivation, the pure, internal joy of the activity itself. But when you constantly interrupt to say, "Wow, good job," you shift the focus. You train their prefrontal cortex to believe, "The value of this drawing doesn't come from my enjoyment. It comes from my parents' reaction." Over time, a tragic shift occurs. They stop drawing because they love colors, and they start drawing strictly to get your dopamine hit. They become what psychologists call praise junkies. They learn to perform for an audience. And when the audience isn't there, they don't know how to feel good about themselves. So, how do we break this dopamine loop? How do we build a child who actually trusts their own internal compass and knows their own worth without needing an audience? You have to stop evaluating and start noticing. Here is the exact 3-step internal compass framework you are going to use the next time your child shows you something they accomplished. Step 1. Be the sportscaster. Instead of giving a generic "good job," you are going to simply state what you see with objective, warm facts. Say, "Wow, you put every single block back in the blue bin." Or, "I see you used a ton of red paint in that corner." This proves to their brain that you are actually paying attention to the details, which builds far more authentic connection than a lazy thumbs up. Step 2. Name the effort, not the outcome. The brain needs to associate pride with hard work and resilience. This is the foundation of a growth mindset. Say, "You kept trying even when that puzzle piece was stuck," or "I saw you working really hard to balance that tall tower." You are wiring their neural pathways to value persistence, teaching them that struggling is a normal part of learning. Step 3. Return the ownership. This is the most critical step. When they hold up their drawing looking for validation, instead of saying, "I love it," ask them, "Are you proud of it?" Or, "What is your favorite part?" You force their brain to look inward for validation instead of outward. Now, this might feel incredibly unnatural at first. It takes real, conscious effort to bite your tongue and swallow the phrase, "good job," when it has been your default setting for years. You will slip up, and that is okay. But building brains requires intentionality. When you make this subtle but profound shift in your language, you are giving your child the ultimate psychological armor. Fast forward 20 years from now, when they are a young adult entering a world full of harsh critics, demanding bosses, and toxic algorithms designed to make them feel inadequate. Because of the way you patiently speak to them today, they won't crumble when someone forgets to applaud them. They won't stay in miserable jobs or relationships desperately seeking external validation. They will have a quiet, deeply rooted, unshakable inner voice that says, "I know I worked hard, I know my value, and I am proud of myself." But here's the catch. You can perfectly eliminate "good job" from your vocabulary and master this framework. But if you are making this one very common mistake the moment your child fails or makes a mess, their confidence will still shatter. What is that mistake? Click the video on your screen right now to learn why instinctively rescuing your child from failure is secretly destroying their resilience, and the counterintuitive thing you must do instead. Subscribe to Mindmakers, and let's keep building those beautiful brains together.